I'm afraid we haven't had the time to meet the fans yet, but we will after this. And we've seen outside so far, and it looks great, and we're excited to meet them.
Do you have any message to your Filipino followers so we could convey their press?
We'll say all English words. 그렇게 팬들한테 하고 싶은 말이 있나요? 한마디씩 부탁드립니다.
예전부터 필리핀을 왔었고 방문하는 이번 세 번째인데 워낙에 필리핀 나라를 좋아하기 때문에 페이스북에서 보던 많은 필리핀 친구들이나 이런 분들을 직접 만나볼 수 있게 돼서 되게 지금 많이 흥분된다, 기분이 좋다 그런 점.
Tasha says this is her third time in the Philippines, and she's always excited about her Philippine fans because we always communicate through Facebook. And she's really excited to see all her fans, and yeah.
저는 필리핀에 이번에 처음 오게 됐는데요. 굉장히 한국 비슷하면서도 틀린 날씨에 깜짝 놀랐는데 다음에도 이렇게 초청을 받아서 좋은 기회를 오게 됐으면 좋겠습니다.
And these words are from Doremi. This is her first time in the Philippines, and she was surprised because Philippines is different and also quite similar to Korea. And she wishes there's another time like this to come back here and experience Philippines all over again. And as for me, this is also my first time, and I'm excited to be here.
Good afternoon. How long have you been cosplaying, and what was the first character you cosplayed?
얼마나 코스프레를 했고요? 그리고 제일 처음 코스프레한 캐릭터를 말씀해주세요.
몽환전설이라는 캐릭터의 한국어로는 초롱이라는 캐릭터인데 워낙에 옛날 캐릭터라서 잘 아는 분들이 없고요. 몽환전설의 초롱이. 그리고 지금 코스프레 한 지는 13년 정도 됐습니다.
Tasha has been cosplaying for almost 13 years, and her first cosplay is Chorongi from 몽환전설. It's a very old manga animation, and that's her first costume.
저도 중학생 때부터 시작했으니까 한 10년 정도 됐을 거예요, 코스프레 시작한 지. 제가 처음 코스프레를 시작했을 때는 강철의 연금술사가 굉장히 인기가 많아서 그때 제가 키가 큰 관계로 로임 때는 처음으로 코스프레를 하게 되었어요.
Doremi's first cosplay was from, she's been cosplaying for 10 years nearly, and her first cosplay was Full Metal Alchemist Roy Mustang.
Wow!
And I've been cosplaying for about 3 years, and my first character was Vocaloid Kagamine Rin.
Wow!
I have a question for everyone. I know you haven't met your fans yet, but I'm curious, how do you find the cosplay costumes so far outside?
여기 아직 팬들을 못 만난 건 아닌데요. 진짜 맞잖아요. 여기서 코스튬을 사람들 봤을 때 어떤 느낌이 드는지.
온라인으로도 전 필리핀 코스튬 플레이어를 많이 접했었는데요. 수는 되게 적지만 퀄리티가 많은 분들이 너무 많아서 깜짝 놀랐다고 했어요.
We know, we haven't met our fans so far, but we know, we have seen pictures from Facebook, and we were very surprised to see the number, how many, there were so many number of people cosplaying, and there was great quality, so we were very impressed.
코스프레를 하는 분들이 되게 다들 즐거운 표정을 있어서 코스프레를 굉장히 좋아하는구나 라고 역시 코스프레 하는 사람들은 코스프레를 다들 좋아하는 걸 느낄 수 있었어요.
And this is Doremi's words, and she says, well, we've seen so far, from what we've seen so far, the people who were cosplaying they look so happy, and we're excited to see that because we believe that cosplayers should be happy while cosplaying because we love cosplaying. And that I also agree with her, and great.
Hello, this is a question for everyone. I would just like to ask if you have a dream cosplay and what is that specific dream cosplay that you want to do someday?
나는 사실 블리자드에 캐리건 코스프레를 지금까지 내 워너비가 엄청 하고 싶은 코스프레 중에 하나였는데 이미 한 번 해서 근데 새로운 목표를 잡고 있는 건 역시 캐리건이랑 비슷한 특수분장 쪽의 그 리그 오브 레전드의 자이라 생각하고 있다고.
Tasha's actually completed her dream cosplay, and it used to be Kerrigan from Blizzard, but right now she's also thinking in the same lines, and she's thinking of doing League of Legends Zyra along the similar lines. Right.
저는 갑주가 되게 웅장하고 멋있는 그런 코스프레를 한번 해보고 싶어요. 아직 한 번도 해본 적이 없고 그래서 이런 큰 장신을 이용해서 리그 오브 레전드의 레오나를 하면 어떨까 굉장히
Doremi is very interested in armors, and she's thinking of doing LOL's Leona because she has armors and she's tall. My dream cosplay is Evangelion's Rey suit version because I love Evangelion.
Hi, Jay Gone from brymac.com, and here's my question for everyone, for the team. What is so far your biggest achievement as Team Spiral Cats? And okay, so this is sort of a hardball question. How are you proud of your achievements as a team?
일단 한국 코스튬 플레이에서 상업 코스튬 플레이어라는 단어가 전혀 존재하지 않았었는데 저희가 2012년도에 상업 코스프레를 시작한 이후로부터 지금 현재 2014년도에는 제가 알기로도 한 4개에서 5개 정도 상업 코스프레 팀이 생겼어요. 스파이럴 캐치가 처음으로 상업 코스프레 시작했고 대한민국 그 게임 유저들이나 애니메이션 유저들에게 코스프레가 되게 친숙하다는 걸 알리고 상업 코스튬 플레이어도 충분히 그 일을 할 수 있는 모범 사례가 될 수 있다, 그런 사례를 만들었다는 게 되게 기쁘고 지금까지 스파이럴 캐치가 한국에서 이루는 것 중에 가장 큰 일이라고 생각해요.
First of all, about your first question, professional cosplaying wasn't a theme until 2012 in Korea, and Spiral Cats was the first team that was actually a professional team. And now in 2014, we know of at least 3 or 4 more professional teams, and we're very proud of the fact that we were the start, we were the stone of that whole foundation.
예전에는 그냥 다들 취미로 코스프레를 즐겼었는데 이제 인터넷이나 뭐 그런 커뮤니티 같은 데 보면서 아 나도 스파이럴 캣처럼 프로 코스튬 플레이어가 꿈이다라는 그런 사람들이 늘어나고 있어서 그게 정말 자랑스러워요.
One thing we're very proud of is the fact that cosplaying always used to be just a hobby, and that's not a bad thing, but Spiral Cats, I feel like we're very proud of the fact that we upped it a notch and made it seem like we can actually have it as a job and have it as a career, and we could further it, and that's what we're proud of most as a team.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Xtian of arkadymac.com, our cosplay website here in the Philippines. Welcome to the Philippines. I'd just like to ask, you have already had a lot of achievements, you've done a lot of amazing things in Korea, and I just want to know what keeps you cosplaying, or what makes cosplay still exciting for you, what are the possibilities for cosplay, and why would you keep cosplaying now that you already have done a lot?
We have just a little time to think.
Okay, no problem. Because cosplayers here in the Philippines, even though they cosplay so many times, so many years, they still cosplay. They don't get tired. Then that's a good thing.
Like
so
what motivates you?
What motivates
I
you
feel
as
like
to
that's the same
cosplay?
as everyone. Everyone cosplays because they love cosplay, and that's just a part of who we are as cosplayers. And I believe it's the same for both of us, well, all of us.
코스프레는 단순히 옷을 입고 만화 캐릭터를 흉내내는 것만으로 끝나는 게 아니라 무대 연출도 해볼 수 있고, 그리고 솔직히 정말 종합 예술이라고 생각해요. 그래서 코스프레 문화가 어느 정도까지 발전시킬 수 있는지 저희가 한번 시도해보고 싶고, 실제로 한국은 비보이 퍼포먼스가 되게 유명한데 이번 디아블로 3 확장팩 무대 행사에서는 스파이럴 캣츠와 그리고 그 세계 최고 비보이 팀 진주크루 쪽이랑 같이 저희가 콜라보레이션을 해서 멋진 코스프레 무대를 연출했던 적이 있어요. 앞으로도 다양한 코스프레 쪽을 발전시키고 싶어서 일단 지금 계속해서 노력 중입니다.
Then Tasha stated a reason as cosplay is not, it doesn't just end while just wearing clothes and costumes and pretending to be characters. That's a big part of cosplay, but we believe we can make it come to another level and make it into some art form. For example, Korea is very big on b-boys, and a while ago, there was this team called b-boy crew called Jinjo Crew, and we did a collaboration, and we believe we can sort of form together a new kind of art form by collaborating with other art forms, and we want to push the limit of what cosplay.
Hello, my name is Chad from the Rainbow Files. I've got a question for you all girls. In regards to cosplaying more on the Eastern franchise like Final Fantasy and the others, would you be interested in venturing on cosplaying on Western franchises like Dragon Age or Mass Effect?
Right now we're concentrating on game industry in the Eastern parts, but we're very interested in Marvel characters in the Western parts, and someday we hope we could cosplay them.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Jessica from Cosplay Network Philippines. My question is, how do you decide which cosplay to do and which member gets to cosplay what character? And how do you start the costume process or the making of the costume? Who gets to pick what fabrics do you choose, or how you research on the details of the costume?
To the first question first, when we were trying to pick the characters, we had a dilemma at first because we love cosplay, we always wanted to do the characters we really loved, but at the same time we're a professional cosplay team, so that means we need to think about quality. So now when we pick characters, we usually think about what suits us the most. For example, Tasha, she's mainly the sexy, glamorous characters. Doremi tends to be like the main romantic type of characters that's very, and I don't know how to say that. kind of pure. And for me, I usually do cute characters. Believe it or not. Second question.
저희가 코스프레를 이제 제작을 시작하기에 앞서서 저희는 원단을 되게 오랫동안 골라요. 특히 그 원단의 색상을 되게 중요시해가지고 그 원단의 색상에 대한 회의를 한 며칠 동안 할 때도 있어요. 그래서 그 원단 색상 고르는 때부터 시작을 해가지고 그 뒤로는 차근차근 이제 만들기도 시작하고 이제 가발 세팅 뭐 등등 이렇게 그렇게 시작을 해요. 네.
When we first start a lot on the fabric, we have to think about the color and the texture, and I believe we spend a lot of time just picking up what the fabric the costume is going to be. And after that, we start thinking about how to make the costume and then the wigs, but the beginning, it always starts with fabric.
Annyeonghaseyo, welcome to Manila. Hi, my name is Rochelle and I'm with magneticrose.net. A lot of the questions today have been mainly about cosplay, but I also would like to know a little something about you personally. So, my question is, other than cosplay, what are your other hobbies?
한국에는 사실 게임을 좋아하는 게이머들이 정말 많아요. 그래서 저희 스파이럴 캣츠 팀도 게임을 좋아하는 팀원들이 가장 많아서 주말에는 한국의 고유 문화인 PC방에 가서 그 게임을 정액권을 끊어놓고 한국 라면 먹으면서 이제 게임을 하곤 한답니다.
We Koreans love to game. There's a lot of great gamers in Korea, and we love to game. There's a special place in Korea called PC방. It's like a space where there's tons and tons of computers, and we can pay just a little bit of amount of money to play lots of games and stuff like that. So Tasha likes to spend her time there gaming and snacking and gaming and gaming.
저도 물론 게임을 아주 좋아해서 PC방을 자주 가지만 저는 모바일 게임도 굉장히 좋아해서 남는 시간에는 거의 소파에 누워서 핸드폰 하루 종일 잡아서 핸드폰 게임을 한 적도 있고요. 그리고 게임의 또 다른 취미는 요리나 제과제빵을 되게 좋아해서 전공도 그쪽으로 했고 해서 가끔 시간이 날 때 과자도 먹고 그래요.
Doremi has two hobbies. The first, we believe now is the era of the mobile gaming industry. She loves mobile games because we can carry it around anywhere and you can do it whatever you want. She loves those games, and also at the same time she likes cooking and baking in particular, so she sometimes bakes cookies for hobbies.
As for you?
Oh, as for me, I'm a little scatterbrained. I love to sing. I'm not that good, but I love to sing. So there's lots of great karaoke's in Korea. So I usually like to go with my friend and just spend hours and hours there singing.
Yes. Thank you very much. It's great to hear from you.
I have another question for you guys. Given that you really love cosplay, I'm a little bit curious. What do you like most about it? Is there a more personal reason behind your cosplaying?
There's one thing in particular Tasha loves about cosplay, and that's she used to love game a lot. She used to love game a lot to the point where she worked as a game developer. But then afterwards she became a professional cosplayer. So she believes her personal reason for starting cosplaying is gaming. That was a really important part.
저 원래 굉장히 좀 내성적인 성격이었는데 코스프레를 시작하고 많은 사람들 앞에 쓰고 사람들 영원도 해주고 좋아하니까 성격이 좀 많이 밝아진 것 같아요. 나름대로 이제 성격도 고칠 수 있어 좋고 물론 사람들이 아, 저 캐릭터 나도 알아 하면서 반응해주면 그게 너무 기뻐서 코스프레를 굉장히 좋아해요.
For Doremi, her personal reason is that she used to be very shy and introverted, but cosplay changed her. And she was very excited when she could communicate with other people, because when you cosplay, other people recognize you and you can just strike up a conversation even with someone you don't know. And she loves that about cosplaying. And as for me, I love the idea of bringing something from the 2D into the 3D because I'm actually an art major, and the whole process of moving the 2D into the 3D interests me and excites me, and I think that's the main reason why I got so interested in cosplaying. Thank you.
Me again. I'm Red Mendoza from animepilipinas.com. Why do you name your group yourself as SP Cats? I mean, do you really love cats?
Okay, first of all, remember from the last question that I told you that Tasha used to be a game developer. Well, she used to be in a part of a project called Spiral Cats, and unfortunately the game crashed. And the reason we named our team Spiral Cats is that since we failed the first time, we're gonna succeed the second time, and I believe we succeeded. And also, to your last question, yes, we three all love cats.
Oh.
Hello again. Who are the people behind, who also work together with the team? And how can you walk us through the process of of conceptualizing your shoots from start to finish?
First of all, there is one person that we really are grateful for the formation of the Spiral Cats team, and that's our representative and also our resident photographer called Shinme, and he's actually right over there.
Oh, hello.
And let's just guess. And he takes all of our photographs, and we believe he's the main reason Spiral Cats is still Spiral Cats. And as for the costume making process, and also there are lots of other staffs, but there's not really a set role for the staff. So usually there's a lot of very nice, kind people who help us, who we believe is a part of the Spiral Cats family, and we're very grateful to those people. We'll try to explain it step by step. First of all, we receive illustrations from the gaming industry, and then we look at the illustration and we analyze it, and we try to pick who's the best for this costume.
그리고 이 의상을 이제 스튜디오 촬영용으로 좀 로우 퀄리티로 제작할 건지 아니면 오프라인에 맞게 오프라인 하이 퀄리티 제작 같은 결정을 하고, 그리고 그 다음에 이 의상을 만들 거에 대한 회의를 하는데, 이 회의가 진짜 많게는 한 캐릭터당 이틀에서 3일 정도 걸릴 정도로 이게 가장 중요합니다. 이때 컬러링, 디자인, 또 약간 어레인지 이런 걸 모두 다 논의합니다.
Discussion is a very big part of the Spiral Cats group, and when we finally decide on the character, we spend at least 3 or 2 days just analyzing the entire thing, and based on the coloring and the texture of the costumes, and also we try to decide whether this costume is going to be only for photography or if it's going to be for outside events such as these as well. So these are the costumes that all passed the test for the outside costumes. After all those discussion is over, we finally go to this special place in Korea called Dongdaemun, and it's a place where they literally have everything, including fabrics. And we go there and we collect samples, fabric samples, and usually we just don't buy the fabric right away. We collect samples and then we go through another bout of discussion, on and on and on, about what's the best coloring and what's the best texture. And after we pick out the texture, we decide on the fabric and then we buy the fabric. Okay, finally, after we pick out the fabric, we set it aside for a while and we pick like a random white fabric and we make a costume from the white fabric to see if it fits well first. And then we rip up all the patterns and then we make the costume from that. That's the entire.
그다음에 이제 소품 만들고 사진 촬영하고 의상 그거 이제 마지막에 이제 웹사이트에 올리는 거는 그냥 정말 긴 기간이지만 설명할 게 없이 정말 그냥 고생하는 거라서 딱 의상 만들고 소품 제작하고.
And lastly, when we're making the heavy equipment, we just spend many nights and many days just working on it. And it takes a long time. And after that, a costume is finished. The photo shoots.
How do you prepare for it? 실내 스튜디오 사진 그 스튜디오 내부에서 제작됐습니다. 그래서 내부에서 배경을 새로 만들었다가 뒤엎었다가 뭐 연출도 했다가 배경지 또 샀다가 해서 되게 많이 정신없는 공간이지만 저희는 그 공간에서 되게 열심히 제작하고 있습니다.
You might all know the song called Gangnam Style by Psy.
Yes.
But the Spiral Cat studio actually resides in Gangnam.
Ah.
And there's a wedding.
That's interesting.
Yes, there's a wedding. We used to be a wedding studio, but we reformed it into like a cosplay studio. And when we conceptualize the photos, we usually go for a lot of discussions about like the backgrounds and stuff. And if it doesn't work out, we rip it out, do it another one. Again, it's a very time-consuming job, but at the end, it pays off, we feel.
Okay, hello again. I would like to hear this from your perspective in the Korean cosplay community. Is there such thing as discrimination, bullying, and other negative stuff in Korea, in the Korean cosplay community?
It's been 3 or 4 years since Spiral Cats actually worked in those cosplay communities because we changed to a professional cosplay team. But at least 3 or 4 years ago, there was nothing such as discrimination or bullying or anything of that sort.
Last. Sorry.
So I'm just curious. What do you look for a potential member of SP Cats, and what can we expect from SP Cats in the future?
The one thing about Spiral Cats team, we rarely pick a member, and that can be seen from the fact that in 2012 we picked Ryuko, Aja, and in 2013 we picked Doremi, and in 2014 there was me. And there was the one thing we look for in a cosplayer when we pick for Spiral Cats is humanity, compassion. We need to have perseverance and compassion. I think those two are the most important things, the key things in picking a member. And as for the future of Spiral Cats,
지금 코스프레 사업이 많이 발전해서 다른 프로 코스프레 팀 많이 들었으면 좋겠는데 그거 외에도 스파이럴 캣츠 이름으로 막 PC방을 차린다거나 뭐 레스토랑, 뮤직카페 그런 걸 차리고 싶어요.
we believe that cosplaying has reached a certain level where we're really interested in seeing other professional cosplay teams come out. So right now, what we're thinking of is, in the future, if we have the time and money and space, we want to make something else that's not related to cosplay, but actually is about Spiral Cats. For example, like a maid cafe, or like a costume shop or some kind of a industry based on spiral cats?